on my favorite bike, which is the 21 Slash from the intro, and my favorite trail, which is Wonder up here in the Ashland Watershed.
And what I'm on right now is granite. Here we are. And last time I was here, been a minute, there was a bridge, temporary bridge, that was spanning Ashland Creek here on the right. They were doing major work on it. Looks like they actually have finished. Like there's a lot of new infrastructure here, which is pleasantly surprising. This is the new culvert. And just to the right there, that's the new entrance to Wonder Trail, where I'll be heading. Hi. Happy dog. I've got to say, once again, I'm impressed. I guess you can actually park a car behind this rail now. I don't quite know how that works. It looks like they maybe made this into a parking lot, perhaps, maybe. Not quite clear what they're doing. And I'm not going up yet. Going down. On the way up. Little pond here, full of birds. They look like robins. It's about mid-50s right now. Very warm here. Didn't expect to take a ride today or for the rest of the season, but here I am. And sun's out. Really sweet. Today, far fewer birds. But frogs. Inverse relationship? I don't know. Definitely robins. That would be Grizzly Peak, and here in late January, not a drop of snow that I can see from here. So not a good sign. We're gonna go up a little higher, and just for the heck of it, take a look at Mount Ashland. This is just real pretty here, coming into these manzanitas, and there's a fun little whoop-de-doo, a little up and down, which I try to not brake on, just let the gravity do its work. Here we go. Success. By the way, you can probably hear that It's like sounds like a chipper, and that's just more Forest Service work. It's definitely off that way some way. This is a fun trail, but continuing up Wonder. Another pretty stretch of Wonder Trail as it banks around here and heads up that way. Clearly still ascending, but just so pretty. And so far, no other cyclists on the trail. Did pass a couple of runners heading down. This, by the way, is just a one-way trail for cyclists. So far, in really good shape. Just a quick stop here. This is my 21 XT, no high pivot. So I've heard a lot of things about the high pivots and how important they are to have, but can't speak to them. They look impressive, but never ridden on one. This does me just fine for my needs. And up there you can't really see, but just beyond there would be Mount Ashland. I'm going to take another look and see when I get a little higher. Getting close to the top. Another favorite little spot here. This one isn't much of a challenge for expert riders. I do not consider myself as such. And again, I'm just trying to get through this without braking. That was fun. A little scary, but a little fear is good, right? Come up on a pretty spot called the Lunch Rocks, and I'm expecting trees down here. This one's been down for a bit, so got a lift. And then kind of doesn't make sense to get back on the bike yet because got this big boy here. This is one that has also been down for a while. My last video when I was up here, I was under biking on my old Fisher Hukui. And you can see just how big this tree is. So as it sits, it's above my handlebars. Anyway, I'd like to think that eventually they'll be taking this one down. soil's super loose, it's hard to walk on, and not down with trying to navigate this on a bike. There has been some activity. This is so cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you, trail maintenance people. So clearly they cut this big chunk out of this tree. There it is. And now this is rideable, which I would be doing, but my phone's in my hand. So no more having to go around. So cool. I think there may be one more tree down before Lunch Rocks. No, so they took care of it. There was another one right across here that's gone. So there's this trail marker here you can see. So I'm just entering Fell on Knee, which is right down here. Goes up that way. And this is Wonder. And like I mentioned earlier, no bikes are allowed to go downhill. This one though, you can get bikes both ways. And this spot here is called Lunch Rocks, because people stop and have a little break, which I'm going to do in just a moment. And off in the distance, you can barely make out Mount Ashland. There's snow up there, but last time I checked, it said the mountain was closed indefinitely due to lack of snow. Still not enough to open, apparently. Looking forward to skiing, but here we are almost in February. Nothing yet. So now going down from Lunch Rocks. Still not real clear on the condition of the trail on this one, because it's been a minute. So going to be a little more conservative than I normally would be. And just realized I forgot one thing I want to do before I continue. And that is put on these guys. Just a little extra precaution. These knobbies will definitely kick up grit, small stones. The last thing I want of that is something like that. An unprotected eye. Just not worth it. Couple of hairpins on this thing. Here's another one. Trying not to put a foot down. It's just really tight, especially on a bike with this wheelbase, very long. These tight things are actually easier on my old Fisher. But everything else is way more plush and pleasant. Old fire damage. Tree's still good. Coming up on another favorite part of my trail here. It's a pretty tree. Lean over. Another shot, Grizzly Peak, right there. Just real pretty trees here, pretty forest. As we come out here, dry bed. We're going to join up with Pit Road. So this is the very end of Fell on Knee. And when we get back on this junction here, speeds start to dramatically increase, but also you got just more traffic because it's a more widely used trail. You probably know some offshoots coming onto this one. That would be if you took Hit Road up, you can drop in a little earlier. I'm going to take this a little more conservatively today just because I'm not sure the condition of it. Off trail bit. Slow down. I'll pass them before I put the camera back on. Beef got stuck in my fender there. Favorite place to stop. You see Ashland Springs Hotel right down there. And then way down there is Lithia Park. It's where I rode up. Onward and downward. Such a pretty day. Not too super sunny, but it's nice. This one, yeah, kind of rough. Drop back down. Really fast. Yeah, but there's a bunch of their trespassing signs out. Here's my car coming down and up. These are a bunch of trails, and this is, I think, county rather than state. This is Hulled Strawberry Park, and a bunch of trails, mixed use. Once in a while we see coyote or fox, a bear, deer are a very common sight. Let's see what we see today. this last bit of off-road, still on the hauled strawberry network, but I call this 7-turn trail. That's my own invention because there's 7 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think turn 5 is the tough one. Yeah, this is the one that if you're gonna have trouble, it's this one. Very tight. Here's 6. And 1 more. Billy back into some Manzanita. 7. This will take us now to drop down right on Ditch Road. That's it. To the right, down here, just a little bit of water in there. That's what we call TID. Stands for Talent Irrigation Ditch. So this is water that runs all the way through, and it literally is for farmers and irrigation. And eventually it goes all the way to Immigrant Lake and fills that up. And when it's on, then the lake fills up, but they turn it off. And when they do, then the lake starts to really deplete. It's all just a matter of how much water we have. That's about it. Just a really nice ride. Really like it. And so really slow, easy pace with some stops, and we're about 2 hours, pretty much 2 hours round trip. Pretty spot on the way up over Ashland Creek. I'll be riding on the other side of this in a minute. Another update on this culvert. So they've just added these bollards here, which answers my question about parking. Obviously that's a no. They've also added signage here. Looking at Mount Ashland right now, 70 degrees today, or thereabouts. And there is snow there, clearly, but not enough to open. Website says closed indefinitely. Once again on the approach to Lunch Rocks, and just checking out the trail. This tree here still not cleared. I was kind of hoping just far enough and sketchy enough to not bother going around. So now they're up and over. Cool thing is though, I do know that this one is cleared, the big one. So hoping they're going to be able to get to that smaller one soon. This is really nice. Back at the Lunch Rocks, and this time really clear view of Ashland. That would be Mount Ashland. So we saw it a little bit lower. This is the high point of this ride, and it's even warmer than last time we looked at it, and still not enough snow to ski, even though it looks different from this far away. Can barely make out on the top there. A tiny little bump. It's glittering right now, almost like a star, but it's sitting right on the top of the crest there.
What you're looking at is a 28-foot wide ball, which is a dome that houses Doppler-related weather radar.
Damn, that was sketch. Solo today. silhouette. Down on the pavement is Grizzly Peak. All poison oak right here. Huge stand of it. Stay on the trail, you're okay. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 'Back on the ditch road. One piece.